I was here for RRR, then we got the Oscars, then we won the Golden Globes. And now I'm here for Devara, meeting all of you. And then I've got the reviews that my movie is doing phenomenally well. It's open to amazing reviews. I was like, hey, LA has become my lucky charm now. I said, for every movie, I'm going to be here. I'm going to sit down here, talk to everybody.
You had to interrupt your shooting of Devara, is that right? Like,
we had to. Yes, we had to.
Like, bye, we've got Oscar things to do.
I know, obviously. You know, it was such a dream come true. And I think it's every filmmaker's, every actor's, you know, and every producer's dream to be a part of Oscars. So yeah. I said, why not? I said, Devara can take a break.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's take a small sabbatical. Let me go to Oscars. Let's come back and let's start it all over again. After I came back, we went straight into the underwater sequences, the underwater, because we had to get that done, because that was heavy on its on the VFX. So you know, in order to release it at the right date, we need to give the outputs to the companies, to the CG companies at the right time. Yeah. So we were shooting with the most complicated CG works: the waters, the underwaters, the overwaters, the shark. All of those had to be shot right after I finished the Oscars.
So you came back from the Oscars and it was a very wet couple of months.
It was very. You know, as I mentioned before, the underwater sequences and the shark sequence took us all about 35 days to shoot, and it was not easy. And you know, it gets and I don't like water a lot. I'm a mountain boy, so. It was really tough, but I guess I can't complain being an actor. I have to be in extreme situations, though I like it or not. Mm-hmm. But it really took a toll on us, because you know how the more you're in the water and how everything just wrinkles up and all that. And it was winters, and every time I was getting out of the pool and getting into it again, it was taking a toll on my health. But I guess finally, you know, when the movie releases, when you see the result, when you see the applause, you know, I was at the Beyond Fest, and the applause, you know, we got for that sequence especially I was just elated, and, you know, you tend to forget the hard work you've put into it.
How long can you hold your breath?
A minute, I guess.
Okay.
A minute.
Enough to get the shot.
Enough to get the shots done. And the worst part is, you know, basically when you're underwater, you know, like deep, almost like about, let's say 10 to 11, 12 feet. You know, there's so much of pressure from the water that you have to pop your ears every time you go underneath. And then you just can't see anything. You know, when you wear the goggles, you know, first you wear the goggles and then you see where everybody is placed. You see where the camera is. And then after that, you take the goggles off, you remove the goggles, and then you just can't see everything. Everything is just such a blur. And sometimes the chlorine just goes up and oh God, and my eyes just turn red. But again, you know, it was thrilling enough for me to keep doing it every day, you know, and yeah, so that's about it. It's just such a beautiful moment, you know. I was mentioning it at the Beyond Fest also, that, you know, first time when I came into LA, you know, this is the mecca of cinema world. Los Angeles is the mecca of cinema world. I was so intimidated. You know, there were so many thoughts running in my head. It's like, how am I going to communicate with people? Do they do cinema? Does cinema speak the same language globally? You know what? How's it going to be? But after I came here, you know, and after I started meeting people, you know, I was like, you know what? Wait. You know, we all speak the same language. It's cinema. It's movies. Mm-hmm. And then when we were at the Oscars, the kind of applause the song Naatu Naatu got, I'm like, you know, this is such a weird thing. You know, though we are separated by a lot of water between the two countries, a lot of water and a lot of land mass as well. It takes us 16 hours and 20 minutes to get here. I mean, like 24 hours journey from India to LA. I mean, it's just so weird that we all speak the same language. And now, after being to the Oscars and after now being an Academy member, you know, LA is not alien anymore to me. You know, it's become so familiar. It's like another hometown. And I even mentioned that Los Angeles is my lucky charm. You know, I was here for RRR, then we got the Oscars, then we won the Golden Globes, and now I'm here for Devara, meeting all of you. And you people are so familiar now. It's like, and whilst I was here, this is the first time in 24 years of my career that I've missed a release of a movie, not staying home. Mm-hmm. So, and my boys, I have a 10 and a 6, and there's just a bunch of energy for me. And I left them, and I came here, and then I've got the reviews that my movie is doing phenomenally well. It's open to amazing reviews. I was like, hey, LA has become my lucky charm now. I said, for every movie, I'm going to be here. I'm going to sit down here, talk to everybody, promote my movie from here. Yeah, it's lovely.
I think I had talked to both of you guys about sort of your Hollywood ambitions when you were here last.
I always said that I would love being a part of the Marvel world, because Marvel for me is very special. And I said that Iron Man is definitely one of my favorite characters, because you don't need to have superpowers. You don't need to be a god to have powers. He's just a human being, with the kind of mind he has. It's so simple that everybody is a superhero. And you, me, we all are. So Marvel is something very exciting for me, and I would definitely want to be a part of the Marvel world. Because for me, my kids love the Marvels too. Yeah. And both of them, when they watch a movie of mine, when I'm placed in the Marvel world, it's such a proud moment for them. And I really want to see that in their eyes. So let's see, hopefully, one day, every day, let's see.
Have those meetings happen?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for it.
And talking about your kids, and sort of it's a theme of the film that the sort of the son who sort of is hoping to live up to his father has maybe not quite the same talent as his father, whatever. How have sort of you sort of done things? Where do you sort of place yourself as a son and a father?
Well, let me start from Devara. The story predominantly is about a father who is unable to tell a son a story. Because when he's, there's a son, who wouldn't love stories? Father's always telling them stories. And once that son is not given the story by his father, by himself, he's like, my story probably is not worth narrating. And my ancestors were warriors, but today I'm nothing but a smuggler. So maybe my story is not worth telling you. It's about how a son understands the emotion of the father and writes the biggest story for him, as a gift to him, as an ode to what he sees his father is. And it's very emotional. And for me, I think my father was a father who's giving me a fair chance to try a lot of things. Rather than restricting me to just do this, he said, you know what? He's given me those boundaries, those imaginary boundaries, and said, okay, this is your play field. Play. Do whatever you want to. Explore. Learn. Finally choose something you want to do, rather than just asking me or your mother or asking us to choose a future for you. I said, go in it if you want to. Well, my grandfather was an actor. My father was an actor. It's not like he told me that you have to be an actor. I was a national level badminton player when I was a kid. I was a professional a classical dancer. I used to travel around the world, travel around the country to perform. It's not that I haven't seen, the share of my world. I have. And what it's done to me, it's made me so independent, to explore, to learn things, to do mistakes, to correct them with proper guidance, with proper friends, with well-wishers, and family is obviously there. I just want to do the same thing to my kids. I said, somewhere, it's too much of history sometimes is not good for your kids, is what I think. Mm-hmm. I would want to be the example to my kids, rather than, saying, oh, you know what, my father used to do that. Or, you know what, my grandfather achieved this. Rather than that, I would want to be a hero to my father, an example to my kids, saying that, you know what, my father has achieved this. I want to have a journey of my own, a story which is worth telling to my kids. I think that's where I want to be known to my kids like that, and I want to repeat what my father has given me, the opportunity, the chance to explore and do something what they want to on their own, rather than saying that, rubbing it in and rubbing it on them, saying that, when you need to do this, you need to do that. I guess, kids today, the world is changing, especially with cinema. Look at this. I was this Telugu boy sitting in Hyderabad, and today I'm in Los Angeles, sitting down and talking to people about movies. I said, this is the journey we need to have. This is the journey someone always needs to have. So that's what I want to give my kids.
And then, how do you encourage sort of love of the arts in your kids? What are the sort of specific things that you do every day?
Again, I just don't want to rub it on them. I don't want to. I definitely feel that kids today really, really, really need to have a mind of their own. They need to be exposed to something to a level where they can decide what they want to do. I don't want to be a hurdle saying that, do this, do that, do this, do that. See, every kid is different. Each kid. See, I have two boys coming out from the same mother's womb, but they're completely different. They're like the opposites. I mean, how the hell does that happen? That's nature. So I just want to nurture the thought in them. I don't want to put in any thought saying that, you have to be in art, you have to do this, because my father and mother didn't do that to me. They just let me explore. So I just want to do the same thing. I don't want to enforce anything on them. Well, yes, sometimes, when they are exposed to my profession, always. And I think this exposure is never going to leave them. They obviously want to become an actor one day, because they're seeing an actor father. Whenever they see him on screen, they always want to be an actor. I mean, come on, I ask my older one, what do you want to be? He says, I want to be an actor, I want to be a scientist, and then I want to be something else. And then my younger one says, okay, I want to be an actor, I want to be a fireman, and then I want to be a police officer. So, but the actor is there as a common thing, because that's the exposure they're getting. But other than that, I really want to give them a lot of exposure for them to choose wisely. Finally, at the end of the day, if they want to become an actor, okay, come on, why not? Yep. I'm here to guide you if you need it. Somewhere I very intentionally learned to not have an ego. I think an actor needs to be very naive. I don't know if it makes sense, because I feel that an actor should not have any calculations. And ego sometimes gets you into that calculation. When you have a vision, you want to do this, you want to do that. You start calculating. And I think an actor just needs to be the most naive as possible. He just needs to be innocent. Every character you actually play in a movie is not what you are as a person. So you're just playing something else. And how do you envision it? And how do you act it out? How do you own it? All right, there's a scene of, let's say, there's a scene where my mother is dead and I have to emote on it. My mother is still alive, and how do I do that? So it's something in a human's body which needs to come out by within himself or herself. I personally feel that you can never teach somebody how to act. You can give them the confidence, make them know the process. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when you're there in front of the camera, giving your 100% out for your character, you're the most lonely person. You're the most innocent. You're the most naive. It becomes like a survival instinct. I think that's the most purest form of acting. I think every actor has to try to disown a lot of things, unknow a lot of things, undo a lot of things, to bring out that genuine performance out. So having an ego doesn't work for me. So every time I choose for a movie, every time I listen to a script, I try to see how much of that innocence is being built in me to play that character. If I feel that this character is something which is, again, not giving me that energy, that beautiful drive to go out of my house and go and work for it. I have two beautiful kids. I want to stay home as much as possible and spend time with them. If I go out for my work, that work has to be more exciting than these two beautiful boys. So otherwise it just makes no sense, if you talk about Devara, the father, and Vara is the son. Devara has got a lot of me in him. A lot of me in him. I have a lot of principles in life. stick by them. I make sure those principles are not meddled with. So I need those principles to follow into even the coming generations, because come on, principles are something which keep you grounded as well. These were created for us to just be on the ground, and rather than just levitate and just go elsewhere, rather than being
What are your principles?
Many. Okay, my main principle, my main motto is live and let live. Just everybody has got a job to do. Everybody has got work to do. Just be engrossed in your work. Enjoy what is given to you by this nature, what is given to you by God. If you're the chosen one, just go for it. Just put your 100% into it. Just don't disturb the ecosystem of everybody. Everybody is here to live. Everybody is in a race. You have to understand that actually there's no race. It's about you being happy with what you're doing. Enjoy that moment, because tomorrow you never know. I might go back home today. I might not wake up the next morning. There's a beautiful saying in this movie called Kung Fu Panda. I don't know if you love the movie. It's with Po. He tells it to the panda, saying that, you know what, you're just too distressed about a lot of things in life. He says, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift, and that's why it's called the present. So I said, forget about what's happened before. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Today is your time. Just live it to the fullest. This is my motto. I said, today. There were times when my mother or my wife used to come and ask me, what do you want to have for breakfast tomorrow? I was like, let me wake up in the morning. Let me decide after I wake up. I said, what if I just die tonight? But that day, when I'm at the edge of that cliff, I'm given a chance. Do you want to go back? Or do you want to just end this world? Are you happy? Are you content? I don't want to say that, I need another chance. Because that chance, I think, which you're given is pretty crippled. But I want to be the fullest, with the fullest of my heart, say that, I've enjoyed this life. Take me away. It's deep, but I like being that. This is my motto. This is my principle. So don't get disturbed. Don't get affected by everybody, because if you're getting affected by a lot of things, it's not you in there anymore. So this is my principle. So this is what Devara is, the character Devara is. And then again, there's another funny side of mine. I'm a little playful. I'm a little innocent. I spoke to you about the innocence of my acting. How I want to be innocent, remain innocent for a very long time, be naive. I think that's what Vara is. In the process of writing a great story for his father, he needs to be naive as well to understand what's actually, what needs to be written. So there's a bit of both. I mean, like a bit of me in both the characters.
The closest that this movie could come to Naatu Naatu would be the dance where you're biting your
just putting that and doing that. Oh, I love that step. I really love it. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. It was choreographed by this very senior choreographer called Ganesh Acharya. He's been wanting to work with me for a very long time. I've been wanting to work with him for a very long time. And the moment I was on set and then he was like doing this, I was like, I love this. I personally feel that, why Naatu Naatu was a rage. It's not the sheer complication of the step. It's the way it was articulated into the song. And I personally feel that a song becomes a super hit only when somebody like you or a commoner who's not trained to be a dancer or to be an actor, if a commoner can replicate the step, that is connection. I think that's when a song or a step becomes a super hit. I think this one is definitely going to be a rage today because it's so nice and it's so cool, right? Hopefully.
And distinctive too.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I don't think I've seen exactly that move before ever.
So nice. Hopefully it brings us an Oscar too. Let's see. Great. Very, very, very few movies in my list, and Pursuit of Happyness should be one of them. It's the constant strive of a father not to become successful. This is exactly what I said about my principles. It is not about success. It is not about earning money. It is about being content, looking at his son You know, there's a drive. Every day he looks at his son. There's a drive that he needs to have a secure future for his son. And this I understood when I had a boy. And I saw the movie after I had my first one. And for me, the moment I looked at that movie, I just got so personally moved, connected, that I started looking at him immediately. And then I made him watch the movie, and he was like, and he just looked at it and he just loved it. You know, there's so much of me in that movie as well. You know, the strive to do something big, the strive to make a story, to narrate to my kids, to become an inspirational person for them, to become an example, to set an example. You know, that movie is so much of me. And I fell in love with that movie. And even till now, whenever that movie is telecasted on TV, my wife keeps telling me, it's like, how many times am I going to watch that movie? She was like, stop it. I said, I watched it on OTT, then I watched it on TV. I'm like, why? She was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I don't know. I just love it. Every time I see that movie, and especially, you know, when they're in the station, you know, and all of a sudden he says, oh my God, look at the dinosaurs. And the boy's like, whoa. And then they go into the washroom and they're there and somebody's trying to open the door and Will's expressions there. I just love that movie. I mean, like, I think that it was such a perfect example of a father and a son relationship. And I think that's the movie I would always recommend to everyone, and everybody who's watched it since then has always teared up. Yeah. Cinderella Man again is another movie, because we've seen so much of boxing movies in life. You know, Rocky is my favorite, and Cinderella Man, I think, somewhere it's given a new dimension to it. It's always not about going up. It's the story of the person who's up there, fell down, and how he goes up again for his kids. So any movie which actually has got a father trying to, you know, do something for the kids, and, you know, I just get so related to it. I don't know. It's just me as a person. Yeah. I love these two movies.
That's great. No, that dovetails well with everything else. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then part 2, you're done filming? Or
no, not yet. We've shot for a few sequences, but now that we've got this responsibility that part 1 is going good, I think we'll take a little more time to etch the part 2 into something bigger and better, and which excites the audiences a little more. So we'll be writing it in. I just want my director to just take a month off. And I told him this. I said, you know what? This is my gift to you. I said, I'm gonna send you away from Hyderabad. Go 1 month, a month or a month and a half. Just go. Just have fun. Just don't think about anything. Come back, and then we'll start writing for it again. You know, let's just refresh, re-energize, rethink, recalculate, recalibrate, and then we'll write Devara 2.
Okay, so it's not like the whole story was there.
It is. No, it is there. It is there. It is there. But now we have the whole story ready for Devara 2. You know, now that, you know, sometimes, you know, when you have a result, but you want to recalibrate it, you know, a little bit, rework a little bit. So that's the only thing which is going to happen. We've already shot for 2 amazing sequences for Devara 2. So those sequences are going to be there. We're going to up the ante a little bit more. We're going to add a little more wildness to it now. So I think that's what we're going to do. That's about it. Cool. I really want to thank everybody from LA, the press, the media, the filmmakers, the audiences, everybody for just, you've been nothing but a source of encouragement, and we want to come back with more. You know, the Telugu film industry today, earlier it was the Hindi film industry which was endorsing the country. But today we're like, hey, you know what? The Telugu movie industry is also endorsing the country. Yeah. That's a very big thing for us. And this all wouldn't have happened if Rajamouli, as a filmmaker, wouldn't have envisioned this. This wouldn't have happened if the West didn't caress us with that beautiful hug for RRR. I think we're deeply indebted, and we'll come back with more wildness to surprise you all.